Introduction. This may be the start of a new series of teachings on the heart, blood, connection to the soul of the man, and how the emotions function. Hidden in this workshop is a beautiful teaching about how we connect our life in physicality with the two souls in the body through the blood, which is a gans, and through the magnetic fields. It translates our behavior to the soul via the emotions. At first, it may sound a little bit complicated, but that's only because there are a lot of different things going on. But we will try to unravel it slowly and clearly, and in the end, we hope it will make perfect sense and actually is very simple. So stick with the teaching and try to read it over and over again while pondering your own feelings and emotions and how they relate to your souls and the rest of your life. Actually, this teaching brings up a very good question we are all confronted with today. The so-called spiritual teachers always write books about feeling the heart and forgetting the thinking process. By our feeling, we know that partially this is correct because we do feel it very strong in our heart when we connect to our soul or our deeper feelings inside us. It's not to argue with anybody because people don't yet accept that the teeny dot that shows up on the MRI is what we call the soul of the man, so they ignore it. We are not saying the thinking process or the intellect, what in Sanskrit they call the buddhi, is the soul. Basically, why we feel it so strongly in the heart is because the fields of the two souls, the soul of the man and the soul of physicality, converge in the heart. The soul of the man shines down upon the heart like the sun. It never sleeps. Pay close attention to the flow of the drawings Mr. Keshe makes in the teaching. The soul of the physicality is created out of the interactions of the two sides of the heart because they have different field strengths. Plasmas interact when you have a gradient or a difference in field strengths. What we call oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood are of two very different field strengths, thus creating a powerful interaction. So powerful that it creates the soul of the physicality. Keep in mind that the blood circulates throughout the whole body like a rotating reactor that generates fields. It comes in contact with trillions of cells and carries all that magnetic field information from the cells to the heart or to the soul of the man, which then transfers it to the soul of the soul of physicality, which then transfers it to the soul of the man. The soul of the man stores that information like the liver stores blood in our body. This information is like a recording of our behavior, because the emotions are a magnetic field strength, and that is transferred to the heart, and then to the soul of the man, where it is stored. So everything we do in our life is recorded and stored. If this is understood, do we really think that we can hide bad thoughts and actions from the soul? When people say they see their life flashing before them when they come close to death, is this where all that information is stored? There's a lot to ponder about here. This explanation gives us a much clearer understanding of the soul of physicality, rather than just thinking of the term soul of physicality. Something that I started to do spontaneously is to visualize the two sides of the heart gathering all those fields from the whole body and spinning around each other, creating the soul of physicality. And then the soul of the physicality in the heart interacting with the soul of the man in the center of the head. It feels so complete, like a complete feeling of myself, not cut up into parts or confusion anymore. And then seeing the three maggrav coils. First, the reproductive unit. Second, the heart and intestine. And third is the soul of the physicality in the position of the soul of the man, and the straight line up to the Creator, the all-seeing eye. While all the time with the intention of spreading the technology and creating world peace. It feels like having the soul of the physicality in the place or position of the soul of the man is elevation of the soul of the physicality. Finally, Mr. Keshe asked us that the next time you feel emotion in your heart, try to feel if it is the emotion of the soul of the man. If you decide that it is, then feel it further. And if it interacts with the soul of the Creator, if it does, you'll become aware of the knowledge of the unicos and the creation. Thank you for listening to this beautiful teaching. Now the summary. Knowledge Seeker started his question by saying, "It's a wonderful gift you have given for the birthday of Raphael, or Raphael." It's quite fitting. His question was about the difference between the intellect and the heart. He went on to say, people who identify with so-called spiritual communities, they tend to always say that we should come from the heart, because that's the strongest field. He had been attempting to teach some of Mr. Keshe's and Keshe Foundation teachings to these people, that the location of the soul is within the brain. But these people have learned a slightly different understanding. They have a bias against the intellect and too much emphasis on thinking. So they have great difficulties with the idea that the soul could be within the structure of the brain and could be more powerful than the heart. They constantly say, no, come from the heart and forget what's in the brain. A side note, from the point of view of the knowledge of creation, is the intellect really the same as the soul? He asked Mr. Keshe to speak about this and expand the knowledge in this area. Mr. Keshe asked him, in what form? He answered, perhaps I want to know why the fields of the heart are perceived to be so strong. Is the manifestation of two other fields, the fields within the brain and the fields within the body, or should we say that the soul of the man and the soul of the physicality together create those strong fields? Mr. Keshe answered, exactly. That's exactly what it is. One is tuning to the other and vice versa. This is what happens when you find yourself saying, my heart says not to do this, because you have received the message from the soul. The heart is a translator. It interprets the messages from the soul. Understanding of the totality is the part where we say, my heart says, don't do it. But where did the heart get the message from? Partially from its own interaction with the matter-state fields, and partially from the soul. The soul of the man never sleeps, just as the sun never stops shining. It's the man who is either facing the sun or standing on the backside of the earth in the darkness. Then we receive the light of it with different strengths. It's the same with the soul of the physicality. Very strange. Maybe in the future mankind will understand. The soul of the man shines in all dimensions and directions. He is talking about the drawings on the screen. What happens when this sun shines on the left side of your heart or on the right side? Does the position of the heart in respect to the soul create different field interactions or different strengths? Does this position create different emotions within the man? Which part of the heart receives the highest order air from the lungs first, and which receives the lowest order? The reasons we feel emotions is because of the field interactions with the soul and the conversion of the fields within the heart. That's why we say we feel our heart, because the sun, or the soul of the man, sits above the heart in the center of the brain, shining down on it. The heartbeat of the man is like a rocking chair, continuously moving in different positions. Then you understand why man has emotions and mixed emotions. Mr. Keshe once said, when you change positions, you absorb different fields. I think also you may have seen on X-rays or videos of X-rays where you see that heart kind of thumping around inside the chest. It doesn't stay in just one place. The sun or the soul does not stop shining. It's the position of the heart which receives its fields, and then it is how you react to it. The blood flow is sporadic in its circulation in the body. The blood condenses in the area of the heart, so it has more possibilities of interactions with the soul. The heart gives to and receives from the soul. It's not a one-way traffic that it only receives. When our emotion goes to the heart, it feeds the soul, and the soul communicates with other souls. That's how your balance of your doing comes. We see how things turn out. This is how we feel the fields, due to what we call the science of physicality. The blood circulation through the heart consists of dark blood, or what we call deoxygenated blood, that flows in, and oxygenated blood that flows out. With the new knowledge, we now understand that the blood of the man is a gans, which is a plasma, or an energy state. It brings not only the blood to the heart, but also the emotion of what the physicality of the man has done. Does this mean that our behavior, our correct and incorrect conduct, is brought to the heart and then to the soul? In other words, we cannot hide anything from the soul. Our blood is like a recording machine. Every blood that comes into the heart, the information is stored, like the way the liver stores the surplus blood. The soul of the man has the same liver in its memory bank of whatever information has been brought to it from the physical emotion traveling through the blood. Then you have the source of life on the environment, and this comes with a different field strengths. In the world of physicality, we look at how much blood passes through the heart, but in the new knowledge, we look at the field interactions that occur in the heart. This is again in parentheses. To understand this properly, you need to watch the drawings, because he explains how the soul of the physicality is created by the interaction between the different fields from the different sides of the heart. One side of the heart brings in the oxygenated blood, and the other side of the heart brings in the deoxygenated blood. In the world of plasma, this means oxygenated blood is brighter, so it has more energy, and deoxygenated blood is darker, and energy has been taken from it. We know gans by their color, not by matter state, atomic structure. The difference in field strength between these two sides is what causes them to interact with each other. The interaction of the fields between the two different sides of the heart is what creates a new dimension, what we call the soul of the physicality. This in turn interacts in a mixture of fields with the soul of the man, the same as it gives, it takes. The exchange of information carried in the blood from all the countless cells in the body goes to the central bank, the soul of the man, or most of it does. The rest of it, through the blood circulation, is carried around the brain through the skull and comes back to the heart. Something that we never really understood is, where does the gravitational field start and where does the magnetical fields end? If you understand this, then you can do a lot in the future technology of understanding the knowledge of creation, to decide on the condition of the physicality of the man. The soul of the man and the soul of the physicality have to work in unison to keep the soul and the physicality in dimension as a field. In all dimensions as a field. The physicality manifests itself through the interaction with the fields of the environment. Now, you tell me, why do I feel that emotion in my heart? The heart is where the sun shines down upon and interacts with the totality of the fields gathering in the heart. Whereas in the head, it collects fields through the circulation of the blood around the brain, which only carries information about the physical interaction. The essence of the physical soul of the man is in the heart. If you understood this, then Earth, Moon, Jupiter, planet Zeus, or any other galaxy is how we allow this field, soul of the physicality, to interact with the fields of the soul of the man. And if together they decide then it leads to the creation of a dynamic physicality of, this was unclear, but it sounded like zinc, but I don't know. It's as simple as that. I'm sorry it's not clear what this means. I wrote this in parentheses. I'm sorry it's not clear what this means, other than the two souls decide whether to manifest physicality. You convert this into the knowledge where the son is the soul of the creator of the man. And then you have the soul of the man. It's the same. Then you understand what I call the soul of the physicality. Then you see how the soul of the man, the soul of the physicality, connects to the soul of the creator, connects through to the soul of the creator. It's so simple. What I understand is that both the soul of the man and the soul of physicality are connected directly to the creator. That's my understanding of it. The next time you feel emotion in your heart, try to feel if it is the emotion of the soul of the man. If you decide that it is, then feel it further. If it interacts with the soul of the creator, if it does, you'll become aware of the knowledge of the unicos and the creation. As messengers, we understand the totality of the knowledge of creation. That's why we can teach so naturally. And at every level, everybody can understand. Oh, and at the level that everybody can understand. Thank you very much.